Hi friends, as you know I did two videos relating to the Iran war. I did this first one and then I did a follow-up, right? And so I thought it is best that I do another one to see what is likely to happen, because the whole world is suffering from oil situation and the prices are quite high, and many countries are having a lot of negative effects on that. So it's very difficult to anyone to say when these things going to happen, but Jyotish is such a subject that has that ability, at least to understand where we are going. It's not necessarily exactly to say this day or that day, that's God's plans. So this is what I want to do, get us some idea as to where we are going from here. Okay, and then this is what worksheet I used for all the two videos. I didn't change anything in here other than to write down when the war started and what was happening, to see whether my karmic points are correct or not. And it's so clearly it's correct. You can see the second one, it's these supposed to be negative and this supposed to be positive. You can see the new leader was appointed on that date, and today is the peak of the second one, third one, right? And you can see yesterday number of deaths happened, Iranian leaders, right? Like that, negative days continuously. And this is what happened. What I want to say is that this worksheet you may not understand. It's very difficult to understand that way without knowing this subject for quite a long time. I have been doing this over 20 plus years, and I cannot give that knowledge to anyone in a little video. Absolutely not. So but if you really want to learn something out of this, I want to say these four things. No, God protects people who do evil. If you do evil, you will not be protected by any God for that matter, right? They will reap their evil sown, definitely. Whatever evil you sow, you will reap it in God's timing, shown in Jyotish. That is the only science that shows that accurately. Based on this, there are no accidents. Whatever happens to us in life is we deserve it, or whether it's a good or bad, that's what happens. Other than that, if you don't deserve it, you will never get it. So that's how it is. And if you sow evil, you will only reap evil. No matter how you praise God or pray or whatever, if you are not honest and doing things right way, helping others and doing your job why you come here for, and then it's fine, God will help you. But other than, no matter how you pray or praise the God, God will not reward evil. What happens is that to God's law is karma, this is karma pretty much, and then God used willing mediums to administer this ultimate law of universe. This is the law of the universe, and God uses people to do it. God uses this is for countries, God uses for leaders of the countries, like that. If you look at my other videos, earlier videos, you can see that President Trump as well as Prime Minister Netanyahu are mediums, nothing else. If you don't deserve it, it will never happen to you, right? This is what I want to, at the end of the day, this is the summary of what we are trying to get at. It's substance of it, but then I want to say what is happening in the future, right? So if I want to explain this worksheet a bit, so you can see the date here, and I have planets in here, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury. These are the positions of planets at the 12 a.m. to to Iran. That is what these things are. The planets don't do nothing at all to us. Planet has no effect whatsoever physically. This is a God-given knowledge using locations of the planets. That's all. To understand what karma is fructifying. That is all. Nothing else. So this is merely a vehicle to explain how things happens in our lives. That's all. Right? So no planet is doing anything to us whatsoever. It is just to showing God using these locations to teach us what is happening to us in life. And it happens exactly to the date, no matter how, like people can say, oh my God, how this happened like that. If you understand this science, you can figure it out. That is how it works. Right? So we are now doing this on the 19th evening, right? I can see my karmic points are absolutely correct, what I predicted earlier, and that is coming exactly the way it is, right? So far we are good. That's how life works. So what I want to do is, I want to explain this, and then what I did was, okay, these are the dates here. This is this year, 2026. And then wherever I have this color, darker color here, these are negative ones. Brown color, right? Kind of a brown color, orange or dark orange or brown. Negative days. And then the green is positive days for Iran. Right? So that's how I do this. So if you can see these colors here, there's a negative day, and like these are negative days, these are likely to be negative days, right? Like that. And then this is a positive, this is a positive, and the 3 negative days like that. And then when it's like this, only big crop, these are the karmic points that happens. So these are clearly negative days, right? So what I want to say is this: we are running. Generally in life, we go up and down, right? So we do positive periods and negative periods in life. We all experience that. What is happening to Iran now is clearly a negative period until 16th October 2026. Right? So this is what is happening to Iran. So we are running this negative period, and particularly affecting from the foreign lands also, losses, continuous losses, period wise, this is what is happening. So all the way till 16th October. Right? So we cannot expect anything major positive in this period. Of course, after this, it's likely to be positive. So that is what I want to say. Now what I was trying to say in this, for the people who are trying to learn this, I want to show this. You can see this peak of 1444, right? And then you can see it's 1442, 1439, 36, 33, 31, 31. And then, right, it's going down, right? It's going down. But then it started to go up again, 31, 33, 34, 35. That means it's going towards 14 AQ 44. Right? So this is pretty much is turning back, going towards heading this way. So these are going to be negative days, because it is heading back to this here. Right? I hope that's clear. Again, same thing here. Like you can see it's going down here, 20, 13, 7, 1, 56 like that. And then all of a sudden it's turning back, 53, 54, 55. So basically it is going towards this peak here. So those are negative days. Like these negative days, particularly related to could very well be IRGC losing, some kind of army related or the forces related, right? And then this is one of the major negatives that's going to come. That's going to come. It's peaking on 23rd April, right? And then of course this is also negative here, negative here, negative here. These are negative karma that shows up, right? So I was trying to see, now these are all cycles, everything is cycles, right? What I did was, this one is I wanted to see what happened in earlier periods. What cycles, when these same cycle happened earlier, what happened. This happened just before the Islamic Revolution in 1979. There was a lot of protests and all those stuff happened. So this is really precursor to that revolution, right? And then after that, what happened? The second cycle, there was a big earthquake happened with this cycle here, clearly, that killed 35 to 50,000 people. At that time also we were running Venus period, and that time also we were running Venus period. So this could very well be related to weather, some kind of a natural calamity, that is a highly possible, or it could be protesters coming out, right? Protesters starting from middle of April, right? So that's a highly possibility here on this one. So I say protest, it could be earthquake kind of this situation, or it could be protest, or some kind of a changes started to happen. And it's a negative one for sure, and then this day is a positive again. That's how generally a long period of bad time comes, and then the one day is positive, and then few days again negative like that, until another, until 1 week goes by. That's how it happens, okay? And then in this one, I believe based on what happened, it could be any of these, right? Could be protest, right? And some change is happening. Because based on underneath, we are pretty much trying to connect the dots, right? What the scenario is God's plan, pretty much. And then you can see, of course we're going to continue here, and then what happens is with this one here, this is another negative one that's going to happen. What happened in this case, when this happened, the earlier cycle, Iran experienced escalating unrest, intensifying face of the Islamic Revolution against the Shah. Yeah, so that is the revolution one, same one relating to that. This one, when this one happened, they had a terrorist group killing 14 Islamic border guards. That happened. And also after that, when this happened, another earthquake happened. Devastating 6.5 magnitude earthquake happened, and a number of people died, right? So this is what happened in this set here. So we can expect either some kind of a terrorist activity or some violence, that is what we expect. Here, of course, definitely there's violence. That's no questions. Violence means a lot of killing and blood and all that stuff here, right? So when this happened, and when this is a positive one, but whenever you are running a negative period, the positive ones do not show up so well, but it does fructify. It does fructify. What happened in this cycle here is earlier time is this is what happens. Rising tensions ahead of elections. They had elections in 1997 when this cycle was going, right? And also they had a lot of diplomatic issues, and then they managed to manage all of that. This is related to nuclear talks, enrichment and those stuff. This has been happening for many years, and they get away with, because of this transit here, this positive one. So there's some positive stuff here on this, but there is a negative here. So you can see negative here, negative here. So there is some positive things and negative situation. Mix of that we can expect in this time, like from 11th May all the way to 21 May, right? And after that, there's another negative one that comes down here, right? In this one, what happened is that nuclear program was dominated in the headlines as IAEA, and they insisted that they want to continue enriching their nuclear centrifuges and stuff. They increased quite a bit of centrifuges here, right? And they really wanted to enrich the uranium, right? In late March and April 98, Iran experienced a major leadership crisis. They had a leadership crisis here with this cycle here, right? So there's a very high possibility there's a leadership crisis coming here. Whatever, because as leaders can't come out and they're going to get, hammered. So that is the issue. So there will be some crisis is happening here, leadership crisis. That's a high possibility here. And then definitely this is to do with foreign countries, foreign forces, strangers. That is for sure. So there is a leadership situation going to happen in here, which is negative. And I said, one side it can look as possible, but positive, as well as one side it looks as negative, but actually it's negative. And in this one here, which is 5th June, right, you're going to get a number of negative days coming forward, right? And then what happens in this one is, when this was running, Iran was primarily characterized by the internal political struggles. They had a lot of internal political struggles between reformists and the conservatives, right? So that's likely to happen here. You can see here leadership struggle here, maybe leadership problem here too, if the protest happens here, and then leadership troubles here, and the leaders are going to fight each other, that's out of desperation. It could very well be political struggles, and IRGC also could be in trouble with this situation, so that is the one that's not really good at all, this one here, right? And then these are negative days like 26th June and 17. And these could be positive days, but you're not going to see large positive things. But in this case, definitely related to media. It could very well be media, restriction media, and that kind of stuff. That's what happened in the last time. Media crackdown, right? The Committee to Protect Journalists reported series of bans on reformist newspapers in 2002. So that's what happened in that cycle. So this could relate it to media, banning them and putting them outside or something. And then this is also another negative. It could still be media also, but this is God here. There's some positive action can happen here too, that's a possibility. While they'll try to, they'll be in to me that if we can connect these dots together, there is some bad time and good time, some positives and negatives happening. I mean, we know the country is completely destroyed. It's very hard for it to turn around. So it's not a good time at all. And then, because as I told you, these periods are running till 16th October, right? So these are bad times. So you don't expect much of big things happening, like, everything turning around. This is another positive one for sure. Even though it is it's close to our October period, so there can be some resolution to some of these matters are happening around here, related to the government, because it is sun, so it's related to the government. So we will see some promises over here, right? So that is what I can see, but I believe by October, as I said, by October, things will be better, much better, all right? So that is what I expect. This is how life works. I can't exactly say what exactly will happen on these. I can go by what happened in the earlier cycles. But that doesn't mean, that is exactly going to come through. But we can see what the scenarios are, ongoing war, and then some things are positive things that happen in between. Whatever the God's plan, it could be that way. That's how life works, This is only science can do this. There's nothing else in this world who can do this. Absolutely nothing. This is the only way. This is how God works. This is how God fructify karma. Of course, people blame President Trump as well as Netanyahu. I mean, they wouldn't spend billions of dollars, if it's not God. I mean, who would want to spend money like that where they have so much needs to help other people in their country itself, right? But these things happen because God elect people. God makes sure that this world is going to be a peaceful place at the end of the day, because Iran regime was not, I mean, the understanding that we have is kill a lot of protesters and a lot of karma that happened in this period in the name of religion. Religious leaders should not do this. Nobody is exempt from karma. Nobody, absolutely, as I said here, no God will protect who do evil. You will be answerable to God, that's all. You will pay for your evil, that's all. If you don't deserve to die by Israeli attacks or whatever, or US attacks or whatever, it's because you deserve it. Because you must have done bad karma. Of course, when you leave this world, you know exactly what you did and why that happened to you. I hope this is clear. You can get some idea as to where we are heading to. We are heading later down this year. But I believe, this oil prices and stuff, I don't have the chart for oil, crude oil and that kind of stuff. There could be these things may help. Some kind of these may help, and then it will, because the whole world is not going through bad time all the way there. So that is what it is. Okay, if you have questions, feel free to ask, thanks for watching. I hope you understand this, at least to get what I'm trying to say. Okay, all right, thanks a lot. Bye for now.